It's been a little over a week since we passed through Gibraltar Strait, and we have arrived at Cape Verde for bunkering operations. We didn't take bunkers back in Gibraltar, as is the usual practice, because we didn't have enough space in our fuel tanks back then. Thankfully, that was the case, or I would never have had the chance to visit this island nation. Our ship has just finished dropping anchor here at Cape Verde, where we stopped over for bunkering operations. So we just passed by here while on our way to Brazil, which is going to be our discharging port, just to take up bunkers, refueling and such. As per latest information, the bunker barge will arrive in about 2 hours, so there's nothing else to do but to wait. In the meantime, let's take a look at the view outside and see what Cape Verde looks like, at least from the anchorage area. Cape Verde, or Cabo Verde, is an island country in the central Atlantic Ocean, consisting of 10 volcanic islands located around 400 nautical miles west of Senegal. This archipelago was uninhabited until the 15th century, when Portuguese explorers colonized the islands. There is a lot of history in these islands, from the Atlantic slave trade to pirates and privateers. But honestly, this was the first time I have ever heard about it. Unfortunately for us, this was as close as we could get to visiting this place. We only had a few hours of stay here, just enough for bunkering operations. We were only expecting to get in, refuel, and then get out. But all of a sudden, a small boat came alongside with a very welcome surprise. Okay, so luckily there's a businessman on a boat that just went alongside our ship, and they are selling SIM cards. So I'm gonna buy some. For ships like ours, with only limited internet, local SIM cards are always in high demand. That's 1 gig. Bigyan ako ng marami. So, just an update for everyone. I'm currently on my latest shipboard assignment, and as most of you would know by now, I am a chief engineer working on board a bulk carrier vessel. I've been a chief engineer since 2011, and since I'm already at the highest shipboard rank in my profession as a marine engineer, the next logical step for me would be a land-based position related to the maritime industry. In case I wanted to call it quits and retire from shipboard life. Now, I have always leaned towards education and training, and I've actually worked as a maritime instructor, training manager, and even a college professor. I did all that in between shipboard assignments. Now, due to my extensive experience in that field, I could always get a job doing that when I retire from seafaring. But of course, I want to aim for a higher position. And in order for me to qualify or even compete for those positions, I'm going to need to acquire my master's degree. I actually got started on that way back in 2012, but almost all of the programs back then required being inside the classroom. Additionally, it would take around 2 years to complete the course, so as a seafarer, I was at a very big disadvantage because eventually my savings, my financials, will be depleted after a few months, and I would have to go on board a ship again. Now, on board a ship, seafarers actually have a lot of spare time, which they couldn't utilize for other productive activities, except for sleeping and recreation. I was always thinking if I could use maybe 2 or 3 hours a day to pursue higher education while I was on board a ship, that would be an excellent use of my time. Now, some schools offered online classes, but of course, most ships don't have reliable internet access. So, yeah, that's really not an option for me. Thankfully, I found a school that offers exactly what I needed: MLA College. MLA College, a partner institution of the University of Plymouth, is a global award winning higher education provider specializing in the delivery of UK distance learning degrees, predominantly for the marine and maritime sector. They offer an extensive list of undergraduate and postgraduate distance learning degree programs. These e learning degrees are perfect for us seafarers because they allow us to download the course materials so we could study on or offline at our own pace. So, whether you are working at sea or ashore, enrolling at MLA College will let you earn your UK maritime degree awarded by the University of Plymouth, regardless of your global location. For me, I chose the course Master of Science in Engineering for Marine Professionals. I'll tell you all about it on the next update. So, if you're interested to acquire your bachelor's or master's degree through distance learning, check out the MLA College website to see what course would suit your interests. Oh, in case you're planning on enrolling, if you put Chief McCoy in the Refer a Friend scheme, you're going to get a special discount of £250. So what are you waiting for? Enroll now and pursue your higher education with MLA College. After about 2 hours of waiting, the bunker barge finally arrived. Okay, so the bunker barge is finally here. So I think they're already tying it up now. Let's take a look. Ships typically replenish their fuel by means of barges or small tankers. Sometimes this is done while the ship is in port, but more often than not, bunkering is done while the ship is at anchor. The deck department is in charge of the mooring lines. They will make sure that the barge is secured alongside the ship. Once that's done, the bunker hose is hoisted up to the ship's deck. Normally, it doesn't take this many people to secure the hose, but the guys wanted to be included in the video, so yeah, I'll welcome all the help I can get. While the crew connects the hose to our bunker manifold, I'm usually signing the pre-bunker documents and reviewing the fuel specifications indicated in the draft of the bunker delivery receipt. Okay, I've already signed the documents and the hose is now connected. I think we're ready to start. So pumping has already started, and for today we will be loading 550 metric tons of VLSFO. So the barge's pumping rate is about 200 tons per hour, somewhere like that. And that means this will be finished in about almost 3 hours, something like that. During the course of the bunkering operation, sampling must be carried out by continuous drip. This sample will be divided usually between 4 bottles. One of the sample bottles will be sent to a laboratory for analysis, one given to the barge, and the other 2 to be kept on board. So we're down to the final tank, and it's only about around 50 tons or less than 50 tons remaining. So it's probably going to be finished within the next half hour or so. After that, I'll just do a final calculation, and if there are no issues with regards to quantity, then we can go and resume our voyage all the way to Brazil.
Sounding 3, sir, 3-port-9-8. Mile 8, 3-port.
Eventually, the pumping has been completed. After sounding the tanks, we have verified that the correct quantity was supplied. Once confirmed, I signed the final documents, including the bunker delivery receipt. Okay, so bunkering is done. We're now preparing to let go of the barge. Our short stay in Cape Verde should have lasted for only about 5 hours. We were there for about 8. The delay was quite welcome since we were able to get some SIM cards and get faster internet access, even for just a few hours. For me, it was enough to upload some new episodes to my YouTube channel and also download a few videos, which I will watch in the coming days when our ship is back at sea and again with limited internet access. One of the perks that I have always liked about the seafaring profession is the opportunity to visit different places. And although I wasn't able to actually go ashore in Cape Verde, I'm glad that I was able to at least see it from the ship and learn a few things about it. At the end of the day, that's one more country to add to my list, and a few more stories that I can tell about my life at sea.